What do you do when you think you have reached perfection?
You keep trying, and today we're gonna see if this can make our sous vide ribeye even better.
That's $1 billion question.
For our steak experiment, first we have to clarify some butter.
Yeah, clarify what that is actually.
I promise I will. I have here about 1 kilo of unsalted butter that we're gonna let melt. I have it running on medium heat. Don't put it too high. You don't want to let it fry. You want to melt it, and then we want to boil the butter. What's going to happen is that then the milk solids and the water will separate. The water will evaporate, and the milk solids and the milk fat will separate, and then we can take out the milk fat on its own, and that gives us a butter that is long-lasting and has a very high smoke point, and that's good for searing. And when the water starts boiling, you see you get all this foam on the top here, and that will continue until the water has evaporated from the butter, and then it will subside again, and then I will show you the next step. After 10 to 12 minutes, the water has evaporated, and as you can see, the foam has more or less subsided. Then it's time to pour this in. I will pour it in a glass jar here so we can see what's going to happen. Almost all of it. There will be some milk solids here. I will keep in the pot. I'll show you in a second. I don't want to pour all these in because these are milk solids that we want to get rid of. Now we leave that here for an hour and a half, and then it will start separating, and I'll show you that the butter will have become clear. The butter has settled, and as you can see, there are some milk proteins here on the surface that I'm going to skim off carefully, because we don't want that in the end product. There are two things here that promotes bacteria growth in butter. That's water and protein. So we want to get that out of here as much as we can, just like that. And then I have here a fine mesh coffee filter. You could use cheesecloth if you don't have one of these. And then we're going to filter it here. Pour slowly, because in the bottom there are much more milk protein, and you don't want to get that in here. That will become too much for the filter. Slowly, slowly.
That looks like gold.
Actually, what we are left with here is 100% milk fat.
All the healthy stuff.
All the good stuff. And the rest here we don't want to take, because as you can see here in the bottom, it's filled with milk protein. So just let this drip off. Now we have a product which has a shelf life of, in the fridge, up to 1 year, and if you keep it in your pantry, 5 to 6 months. So now we are ready to move on with our ribeye. 2 beautifully marbled Black Angus ribeye straight from the freezer. You can see the marbling here. This is going to be good. They're both 400 grams, so that's what we call ladies' cut in this house. We're going to lower them straight into our sous vide, which is running at 53 degrees. And now we're going to leave them there for 45 minutes, maximum an hour, then they'll be ready to sear. Our steaks have reached a core temperature of 53 degrees, so now it's time to come out of the jacuzzi here. I've been enjoying for some time. Let me just open this up. There we go. And then let's get that one out. Basically, this is already cooked, finished. It just looks very boring, but that's going to change in a couple of minutes. Over to the stove. I already preheated my pan somewhat, but I want to get it up to around 230 degrees, something like that, so we get a really fast sear on our steaks. Yep, we're at 230, that's perfect. And now comes the star of the show, clarified butter. Let's get that into the pan. And then on with our steaks. Listen to that. That's what you want to hear. And then I'm going to throw in a couple of sprigs of fresh rosemary to give some flavor. That looks really, really good. Let's see how the Maillard effect is working, because they already released. And look at that sear. Look at that sear. If that isn't beautiful. And that's the beauty of clarified butter. Our ribeyes, they are done, and they smell divine, I have to tell you. Look at that sear. It's just so beautiful. switch this off.
Let's see how they taste.
Oh yeah, let's get them over here. We can plate them up. Time to see how we did. We carve this up here. Ah, beautiful, medium rare, totally juicy and excellent crust. That is perfect ribeye for you.
Let's see if that gold is true gold.
That's gonna be interesting, but first some salt.
Ah, yes, we need some salt.
You put some lemon salt on all of them there.
Okay.
Let's give this a shot. Perfect ribeye. Medium rare, really good, and I like the sear. I like the crunch. It's good.
It's very tasty, very flavorable. But I think I prefer it more on the cold when we did it over there in our emergency ribeye.
You prefer the barbecue?
Yeah, I do. Well, that's me.
I like the variation. Plus, butter makes everything better.